In South Africa, Christmas doesn't arrive with snowflakes or icy winds. There are no sleigh rides, no frost-covered rooftops, no mugs of steaming cocoa beside the fire. Instead, Christmas here comes with sunlight warm, golden, and generous. It arrives with the sound of waves crashing on the coast, the scent of marinated meats sizzling on a braai, and the rustle of leaves in shaded gardens where families gather under the summer sky. This is Christmas in the Southern Hemisphere, and in South Africa, a country of vast landscapes and many cultures. The season reflects not just the calendar, but the character of a people who have learned to weave joy into every context. By the time December 25th arrives, schools have closed, workplaces have quieted, and the cities begin to exhale. Families pack up and travel, sometimes long distances, to return to rural homesteads or coastal towns. The roads are alive with motion. Buses and cars brim with luggage, gifts, and food. It is not just a holiday, it is a homecoming. In cities like Cape Town, Durban, and Johannesburg, the Christmas atmosphere builds slowly. Streetlights are draped in garlands. Stores play festive songs, often a mix of Western carols and South African renditions in English, Afrikaans, and native languages. Markets overflow with pineapples, watermelons, mangoes, and fresh-cut flowers. It is a season of plenty and color. Yet, even in this festive lightness, there is reverence. On Christmas Eve, many families attend midnight church services, where choirs sing traditional carols and local hymns with harmony and heart. In some congregations, the songs are accompanied by African drums and the story of the Nativity is read aloud, sometimes in multiple languages, reflecting the diversity of the audience. The focus remains on the birth of Christ, celebrated in faith and fellowship, but the most unmistakably South African aspect of the season is the Christmas morning itself. When the sun rises on December 25th, it bathes the land in light. The day is warm, often hot. Families rise early. Children wide-eyed unwrap. Gifts often small, meaningful presents rather than extravagant displays. In many homes, the gift-giving is modest, rooted in gratitude rather than excess. The true richness of the day lies elsewhere, in connection, food, laughter, and tradition. By late morning, the sounds of Christmas Day begin to spread through the air. Laughter from backyard gatherings, music from open windows, the pop of sparkling wine bottles, the hiss of grills. In almost every South African home, there is a braai, the iconic barbecue that transforms any day into a celebration. Chicken boers, steak, lamb chops marinated in family recipes meet the fire as the aroma floats through the neighborhood. Some families opt for a more formal lunch indoors, where long tables are laid with roasts, rice, salads, and puddings. In others, picnics are packed and taken to beaches, botanical gardens, or national parks, where Christmas is celebrated under trees or umbrellas, surrounded by nature. In coastal towns, the beaches are alive with color. Umbrellas dot the sand. Children splash in the surf. Grandparents sit under shade, watching vendors pass by with ice cream and cool drinks. Somewhere, a speaker plays a gospel rendition of Silent Night, and all of it unfolds beneath a wide blue sky. But Christmas in South Africa is not uniform. It is as varied as the people who live here. In townships and informal settlements, Christmas may be simpler, but no less meaningful. Neighbors share food. Community halls host Christmas dinners. Churches open their doors to all, and even where resources are limited, there is often a spirit of generosity, a sense that no one should be alone on this day. For many South Africans, especially in rural areas, Christmas includes visiting extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, elders, often bringing gifts of food or children may sing or perform small skits. Elders offer blessings. The emphasis is on togetherness and respect. Throughout the country, the day carries a sense of lightness, not frivolity, but ease. People wear bright clothes. Meals are long and leisurely. Today is time, there is space. The pressures of the year are paused, and as the sun begins to dip behind the horizon, many families stay outdoors, watching the sky change color, listening to the slow hum of a summer Christmas evening. This is the essence of Christmas in South Africa. Sunlight instead of snow, braai instead of baked hams, beaches instead of fireplaces, but the same heart. A heart that beats with faith, family, community, and joy. It is a reminder that the spirit of Christmas is not tied to temperature or tradition. It is not about weather, it is about warmth, the kind that begins inside and flows outward. And in South Africa, where the land is generous and the people resilient, that warmth is found not in things, but in the shared celebration of life, love, and the miracle of belonging. To understand Christmas in South Africa, one must first understand its layered past. The celebration of the holiday here is not native in origin, but it has taken root over centuries, shaped by colonial histories, Christian missionary efforts, and the vibrant, enduring presence of indigenous customs and multicultural expression. Christmas arrived on South African soil with European colonizers, particularly the Dutch in the 17th century, and later the British in the 19th century. With them came Christianity, Western-style churches, hymns, and the traditions of Christmas as it was celebrated in Europe, including the telling of the nativity story, gift-giving, and communal feasting. But South Africa was never a blank canvas. Long before colonization, it was already home to diverse indigenous nations, the Khoisan, the Zulu, the Xhosa, the Sotho, and many others, each with their own sacred cycles, communal rituals, and seasonal festivals. As colonial influence spread, so too did Christian missionary activity, and many local communities embraced the Christian faith, but not without infusing it with their own expressions, symbols, and spiritual sensibilities. This fusion created a uniquely South African Christmas tradition, where European customs did not simply overwrite indigenous culture, but slowly became part of a larger, more dynamic cultural mosaic. For instance, church going, a central part of South African Christmas, reflects both colonial Christian influence and traditional communal gathering practices. Churches became not only places of worship, but community hubs where spiritual life intersected with daily living. Over time, different Christian denominations took root: Anglican, Methodist, Catholic, and especially Pentecostal and Charismatic African churches, which often emphasize music, dance, and prophetic preaching as part of their Christmas services. These services are held in many languages, including English, Afrikaans, isiZulu, and more, each offering Christmas liturgy through a cultural lens that makes the story feel immediate and personal. In many rural churches, the Christmas story is not read in a distant, detached way. It is acted out by children and youth, sung with ululations, and embodied in movement and praise. It feels alive. Over time, indigenous values like Ubuntu, the philosophy that I am because we are, began to shape how Christmas was lived out in South African homes and communities. The emphasis on hospitality, generosity, and collective celebration during the Christmas season reflects this deeper ethic. It is not uncommon for families with more to share food or gifts with those who have less, not out of charity, but out of kinship. The Afrikaner population, descended from Dutch settlers, developed their own Christmas customs, which included carols by candlelight, baking festive biscuits, and sharing long meals under the summer sun. Their traditions were influenced by Calvinist theology, emphasizing simplicity and spiritual reflection. Over time, many of these customs, including Christmas Day, picnics, and open-air family gatherings, blended into the national rhythm of the holiday. In the colored communities of the Western Cape, who have mixed ancestry including African, European, and Southeast Asian roots, Christmas carries a strong sense of music, storytelling, and resilience. The holiday here often includes Kaps Klaps Cape Minstrel Carnival, which begins on January 2nd but is part of the larger festive season, an exuberant display of parades, vibrant clothing, and performance. Meanwhile, in Indian South African communities, largely descended from indentured laborers and traders brought by the British, in the 19th century Christmas is often observed with a mix of Christian devotion and cultural flavors, including traditional Indian dishes like curry alongside Western roast meals and services held in English or Tamil. What emerges is a collage, not a single tradition, but many traditions layered atop one another, evolving with time. Despite its colonial origins, Christmas in South Africa has become a deeply local experience, reflecting the stories, struggles, and hopes of a diverse people. Yet, even amid the diversity, some threads remain constant. The emphasis on faith, on gathering, on ritual, and on passing something meaningful to the next generation. In this way, South Africa has taken a holiday once imported and made it intimately its own, not by erasing its origins, but by rooting it in local soil, language, and spirit. Today, when a family sings Silent Night in Isi, or when a child helps grill meat on a Christmas braai, or when neighbors exchange food between modest homes in a township, they're part of a Christmas that is not just celebrated in South Africa, but born here, again and again, in ways that are always new and always deeply, unmistakably South African. Enjoying the video so far? Then engage with us. Like, share your thoughts in the comments, and follow World Traditions to explore more amazing traditions around the world. At the heart of South Africa's Christmas lies a quiet but powerful center. The church in cities and villages, suburbs and townships. In Anglican cathedrals, Zulu tabernacles, Afrikaans country churches, Pentecostal halls, and informal corrugated iron chapels, the faithful gather to worship, remember, and rejoice. Christmas may look different from home to home, but nearly all celebrations begin with the same impulse to acknowledge the sacred. Church services on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning are often the emotional anchor of the holiday. They begin early sometimes, as dawn breaks, with congregations dressed in their best, walking or driving to their place of worship. For many, this is not simply tradition. It is a spiritual pilgrimage, an act of gratitude for the year past and hope for the year to come. Inside the churches, the air is thick with expectancy. Ushers greet visitors with wide smiles. Children squirm in polished shoes and colorful dresses. Elders sit in the front rows. And as the service begins, the sanctuary fills with sound, not just sermons or scripture, but songs, testimonies, drumming, dancing, and collective prayer that lifts the spirit of the whole room. South Africa's rich cultural and linguistic diversity is deeply reflected in how Christmas worship is expressed. Services are conducted in multiple languages: English, Afrikaans, isiZulu, isiXhosa, and more, each bringing its own rhythm and emotional cadence. A Christmas hymn sung in isiZulu carries the resonance of coland response, the strength of harmony, the memory of ancestral worship. The diversity of denominations also brings variety to how Christmas is celebrated. In Anglican and Catholic churches, the service is more liturgical, with readings, communion, and traditional carols. In evangelical and Pentecostal churches, there is an atmosphere of celebration: loud worship, music, expressive dance, vibrant preaching, and spontaneous testimony. But regardless of denomination, the message is the same: the birth of Christ as a light in darkness, a gift of hope, and a reminder of divine love. In rural areas, churches are often the only public buildings, and on Christmas, they become community centers. Entire villages gather. The service may last hours, with different groups singing, performing dramas, or sharing reflections. The church becomes a place of collective storytelling, where scripture meets everyday life. Children often take center stage during these services. They perform short plays, retelling the Nativity, Mary, Joseph, shepherds, angels, and wise men dressed in makeshift costumes, giggling as they wait their turn. These moments are cherished by parents and grandparents. They are not simply cute performances, they are cultural formation, teaching the young that faith is not abstract, but embodied. Music is central. South African worship cannot be separated from song. Whether it's a hymn in four-part harmony or a full gospel band with drums and electric guitars, the soundscape of Christmas worship is alive. In township churches, voices often rise with such intensity that they spill into the streets. The music doesn't end when the service does. It lingers, in humming voices, in children's laughter, in neighbors exchanging greetings outside. One of the most beloved traditions, especially in cities like Pretoria, Bloemfontein, and Cape Town, is carols by candlelight. These community events, often held outdoors in parks or open fields, gather hundreds, sometimes thousands of people. As the sun sets, candles are lit, and carols are sung under the stars. It's a moment of collective peace, often bridging racial and social divides, with families sitting side by side on picnic blankets, united in song. In some communities, churches organize Christmas outreach, visiting the sick, delivering food parcels, or hosting meals for those without family. This reflects the deep value of Ubuntu, the belief that our humanity is tied to the humanity of others. Christmas becomes a time not just of worship, but of action, of living out the message of love and inclusion. For those with less, the church becomes a place of solace, a place to be seen, to be part of something greater, to receive both spiritual and material support. And for those who have plenty, it becomes a place to give, to remember that the season is not just for celebration, but for compassion. Even in prisons and hospitals, chaplains and volunteers conduct services, and in homes where elders can no longer travel, families often recreate a small worship space, reading scripture, singing songs, praying together, reminding each other that the true church is wherever hearts gather in faith. In this way, South Africa's Christmas worship is not a performance. It is a living testimony that even in a country marked by history, division, and hardship, the message of Christmas can still echo with clarity: a child is born. Hope lives, love is for all. It is in these churches, in these songs, in these diverse voices rising together that the meaning of Christmas is not only remembered, but made real. In South Africa, Christmas is a celebration of food as much as faith, and nothing expresses that better than the iconic braai, the South African barbecue, which becomes a centerpiece of holiday gatherings from the Cape Town coastline to Limpopo West rolling fields. Unlike the roast dinners of colder climates, the braai thrives in the summer heat, where firelight, laughter, and sizzling meat are part of the landscape of joy that defines Christmas Day. A braai is not just a way of cooking, it's a social ritual. Neighbors wander over to share stories while coals glow. Children run in and out of shade. Men and women take the lead at the grill-flipping boerewors. A spiced sausage with Dutch roots, marinated lamb chops, chicken wings, steak, and even fish when near the coast. The aroma of burning wood and seasoned meat fills the air like a festive signal. This is Christmas. This is home. But the South African Christmas table is not only about meat on a grill, it's a culinary tapestry, stitched together from the country's many cultures, braai and grilled traditions. Boerewors, thick, curly sausages, infused with coriander, cloves, and nutmeg, often served with a side of pap maize, porridge, or freshly baked rolls. Lamb chops and steaks, marinated simply with salt, pepper, and herbs, cooked slowly over coals. Chicken braai glazed with spice blends, sometimes drizzled with peri-peri sauce for heat. Indigenous and African dishes across Black South African communities, including Zulu, Xhosa, Satho, Swana, and others. Traditional foods carry deep meaning. Umdishosho samp and beans, a humble but hearty staple. Chakalaka, a spicy vegetable, relished tomato, onion, carrot, beans, that brings color and heat to plates. Moroga wild spinach, often served alongside pap or samp. Cape Malay and Indian influences South Africa's Indian and colored communities, especially in KwaZulu. Natal and the Western Cape bring a rich spice heritage to Christmas meals. Biryani and curry, sometimes alongside roast chicken, blending cultural flavors. Samosas and chutneys served as starters or side dishes. Milk tart and Coke Sisters sweet pastries that often appear at festive tables. Sweet endings. No holiday feast in South Africa would be complete without dessert. Malva pudding, a warm, syrupy sponge cake, often served with custard or ice cream. Milk tart, maltort, a creamy cinnamon-topped custard tart with Cape Dutch roots. Fruit salads and pavlova, showcasing summer's bounty of berries, mango, and kiwi. While the braai cooks, family members nibble on biltong, thinly sliced, air-dried cured meat, and Drouwer's dried sausage. These snacks are shared between cousins, passed around in circles of friends, and paired with cold drinks in the shade of a porch or under a jacaranda tree. What is remarkable about the food of Christmas in South Africa is that every dish tells a story. The braai reflects the outdoor lifestyle of summer and the Dutch Afrikaner heritage. Umdishosho and chakalaka honor indigenous roots. Curries and samosas speak of Indian migration and integration. Desserts carry European colonial influences, reimagined with local fruits and flavors. But despite the diversity of dishes, there is a common thread. Food is a language of connection and belonging. Meals are shared on long tables without hurry. Plates are passed between generations, grandparents, parents, children, cousins, all reaching for familiar favorites. Conversations pivot between laughter and reflection, between the new year ahead and the year that has passed. In some homes, the feast begins in the middle of the day, with the braai already crackling by noon. In others, the table is spread early, with salads, cold meats, and pickles waiting in the shade while the coals slowly heat. By late afternoon, after plates are filled and second helpings are served, the clatter of dishes slowly subsides, but the talking continues. Stories are told about Christmases of old. A past braai near Table Mountain, a childhood spent in a rural homestead, the first family Christmas after a child was born. And in every story, food becomes more than nourishment. It is memory. That sense of long, slow feasting also reflects something deeper in South African culture. The value of togetherness, whether the table is set in a seaside town, a Johannesburg suburb, a rural kraal, or an informal township, the meal becomes a meeting of presence. People eat not just to fill their stomachs, but to savor the company of others. To be seen, to be rooted. Even communities with limited resources find ways to share. In townships and villages, neighbors often pool what they have. A joint braai here, a communal salad there, shared desserts, until the entire street feels like one big family. This practice echoes the African philosophy of Ubuntu, Umuntu ngumuntu, ngabantu I am, because we are. At Christmas, Ubuntu shows itself in the generosity of shared plates, of doors open to neighbors, of laughter around a fire. Tuhan, outsider. The contrasts of South African Christmas food might seem surprising: grilled meat alongside curry delicacies, indigenous stews beside European desserts. But to those who live here, these contrasts are complementary. Like the nation itself, varied, vibrant, resilient, and whole. And as the sun begins to dip after a long day of feasting and the last dish is cleared away, the sense of fulfillment is not just physical, it is emotional and spiritual. It is the feeling that arises when a community gathers, when stories are shared, when children are fed with love, and when everyone, regardless of background, sits down as one at the table of celebration. Because in South Africa's Christmas feast, the true flavor is not just in the food, it is in the people who eat it together. In South Africa, Christmas Day itself often feels like a long, unhurried hymn to togetherness. Not just a holiday on a calendar, but a lived experience in sunshine, laughter, shared tables, and generations gathered under open skies. The rhythms of the day unfold slowly, weaving a tapestry of family, outdoor life, ritual, and celebration that mirrors the nation's unique blend of cultures and landscapes. Christmas Day often begins with quiet excitement. In many homes, children rise earlier than usual, eager to open gifts from parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles. Presents tend not to be extravagant, but thoughtful: a book, a game, a scarf, maybe a small toy chosen with affection more than in affluent suburbs and modest townships alike, the emphasis is intention over indulgence. Adults greet each other with warm embraces, exchanging wishes of GSA and Ekursvies in Afrikaans, Siakwali Lizel in Zulu, or to familiar Merry Christmas. There is often a moment of quiet gratitude, whether in prayer before a meal, a family reflection around the tree, or simply a shared cup of coffee on a shaded patio. Many families attend Christmas morning services not out of obligation, but out of tradition and spiritual rootedness. In church halls across the country, congregations gather, sing carols twisted with African harmonies, hear messages of hope and renewal, and sense that the sacred and the communal are inseparable. As the sun climbs higher, the yard or garden becomes the kingdom of Christmas. In homes large and small, the braai fire is stoked, with smoke curling toward a blue summer sky. Unlike winter holidays elsewhere, Christmas here doesn't ask you to retreat indoors. It invites you outside. Friends and relatives arrive with salads, side dishes, desserts, and bubbly. Children chase one another across lawns. Teens toss footballs or play cricket in the shade. Grandparents settle into chairs with cool drinks. Music from gospel to local pop plays in the background. Not loud, but present. A South African Christmas lunch can be all of these things at once. A braai feast of boras, lamb chops, chicken kebabs, grilled fish, and vegetarian skewers, a shaded garden picnic of potato salad, coleslaw, fresh fruit, chilled pasta, and green bean medleys. A beachside feast near Durban or Cape Town, where seafood joins traditional fare and cooler boxers keep drinks icy. A family gathering inside, with long, roaring laughter at tables laden with malva pudding, milk tart, pavlova, and berry salads. It is not unusual for multiple generations to gather, children playing at the edge of the braai coals, under watchful eyes, parents flipping meat, grandparents swapping stories of Christmases past, and cousins comparing festive outfits. Community picnics happen to church groups, neighborhoods, and even workplaces sometimes organize lunch in a botanical garden, town square, or community field. It is an extension of something much bigger than the household. The shared sense that Christmas is a season of connection, not just consumption. South Africa's natural beauty becomes part of the Christmas narrative. As the meal winds down, many families head out to the beach, the bushveld, or a riverbank. By midday, the ocean breeze. Cape Town's beaches draw sun hats and umbrellas, where families build sandcastles against Table Mountain's silhouette. Durban's shoreline hums with laughter, surfboards, and splashy play in warm Indian Ocean waters. Gauteng's rock pools and dams offer refreshing escapes for those inland. Children race through the surf, parents recline with cold drinks, and the air carries the mingled smells of sunscreen, salt water, and grilled leftovers. Some families venture to nature reserves, Kruger National Park, Halulu-Imphalo's, Golden Gate Highlands, for wildlife hikes, picnics under ancient trees, and the unforgettable sight of giraffes silhouetted against the summer sky. There's a sense, here, of groove and grace. The day carries us from sacred ceremony in the morning to playful communion with earth in the afternoon. Many older South Africans will tell you that Christmas is not just a moment, but a memory builder, a day that becomes a mental photograph, stitched into the heart by sunlight, song, sound, and shared stories. As the sun begins its lazy descent, South African Christmas days shift into a relaxed evening pace. Wide smiles and full stomachs settle into gentle conversation. Some families might take an evening walk, kids running ahead on sidewalks cooled by late breezes, adults chatting about the year past and the year ahead. Others gather around a fire pit or shaded patio, sharing chilled dessert and recounting highlights. First jobs, graduations, new additions to the family, or even challenges overcome. In township communities, children often perform impromptu carols or dances in the streets, while small groups continue late-night braai fires, music, and storytelling. There's an unmistakable social rhythm, one that knows when to slow down, when to laugh, and when to simply be. For many, Christmas Day doesn't end with exhaustion, but with a spirit of stillness, a tender mix of nostalgia, gratitude, and hope. And for others, it's the beginning of a season of vacation, family travel, and school breaks, a stretch of time that extends Christmas into a larger communal pause. Unity in diversity across South Africa's rainbow of cultures: Black South African, African Air, Koloherd, Indian, Soet, African, and many immigrant traditions. Christmas remains a moment of collective belonging. People from different backgrounds may mark the day in different ways, but the core human themes are strikingly similar. Togetherness, family, and community hospitality, extending the table to others. Remembrance, honoring the divine and ancestral abundance of spirit, not measured by wealth, but by shared experience. In some rural areas, Santas don't arrive with sleigh bells, but with community gatherings, where elders bless young ones, songs are sung in rhythmic call and response, and the message of Christmas is woven into the community's story. In urban centers, festive lights and carols animate town squares and shopping malls, but those spaces are the prologue. The real celebration happens in yards, on beaches, in church halls, and around plates full of grilled meat and laughter. A day of memory and meaning. Christmas in South Africa shows us something human and essential: that celebration is not bound by cold winter air, but by warmth of spirit, that family and community matter more than gifts, that light and laughter can flourish under the summer sun, even as we honor an ancient sacred story, and that diversity and unity can coexist, finding common expression in faith, food, and shared life. In South Africa, Christmas is not just a day on the calendar. It is a season of presents lived in sun, song, family, fellowship, and communion with both people and place. And at its heart, it says something universal. Here, under the southern African sky, together is the best place to be. In a land where Christmas dawns in summer, where carols rise beneath starry skies, where laughter echoes beside braai, is told in a dozen languages across mountains, plains, and coastlines, there is a message that goes deeper than any single tradition. It is the message of South Africa itself, that beauty can emerge from complexity, that joy can survive history, and that unity is possible not in sameness, but in shared celebration. Here, Christmas is not wrapped in tinsel or snow, but in sunlight and soul. It's a celebration carried in the rhythm of gospel harmonies, in the flame of the braai, in the smiles of barefoot children unwrapping small gifts with wonder. It's found in prayers whispered before a family meal, in the embrace of relatives not seen all year, in the sweet taste of malva pudding and the hands reaching to share it. It's a season of remembering who we are and who we belong to. In the churches, where bodies sway to ancient songs, and in gardens, where chairs circle under trees, the spirit of Christmas doesn't shout, it gathers. It calls us back to the human things that matter most: faith, family, freedom, community. And in post-apartheid South Africa, a country still healing, still growing, still reckoning with its past, Christmas is more than just a holiday. It is a rehearsal for the kind of world that's possible, one where children play without fear, where food is shared without condition, where elders are honored, and where stories both sacred and personal are passed down like gifts that don't fade with time. To celebrate Christmas here is to believe in light, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. Because in South Africa, light always wins. The light of the sun, the light of tradition, the light of people coming together again and again under the great African sky to say, we are still here. We still believe. We still celebrate. So if you're watching this from afar, remember, Christmas doesn't need cold to feel warm. It only needs heart. And in South Africa, the heart of Christmas beats strong in every language, in every meal, in every hand, held tight across the table. If this story touched you, comment below where you're watching from and what time it is there. Let's celebrate the global beauty of Christmas together. End of script. Sweet dreams. If you enjoyed the video, help us keep the channel going. Like, share your thoughts, and follow World Traditions so we can keep showcasing traditions from around the world.